Hi everyone, this is Satyajit. Welcome to my channel Cloud Journey with Satyajit. So in my earlier videos, we discussed about the VPCs and how the resources can communicate within the VPC. So we have created multiple subnet like public subnet and private subnet. And in the public subnet, we have created the jump server. And the private subnet, we created the application server. And within the VPC, anyone can communicate with each other. So that we discussed in our earlier videos. So today we are going to discuss with if there are two different VPC, so both are different entity, they both have different CIDR range, and in VPC A, in some of the resources created, and VPC B, some of the resources created, how they will communicate with each other. Okay, so if you see my diagram, so in a VPC-A, in both are in AWS Cloud. So in VPC-A, who's having CIDR 10.00/16 and VPC-B having CIDR 20.00/16. And VPC-A, we have in public subnet and private subnet, and both EC2 instance created. And so both can communicate with each other within the VPC as they're part of one VPC. And also in VPC-B, they can communicate. But when the communications from this Bastion server, we know like the Bastion server is a jump server. It has public IP and it has internet gateway enabled so that it can access from outside. Okay, and here also another Bastion server, so it has also public IP. So from here, from this machine, we can connect to this machine using the public IP because both are publicly available, and the 22 port, the SSH port need to be open. Okay, once the SSH port is open and both are public, so they can communicate with each other easily using the public IP, but it cannot be possible using the private IP. So we must know like any EC2 instance having two IP. One is public IP or elastic IP, and another one is the private IP. Okay, if it is a private server, then it must have only private IP. But if it is a public server, then it must have private IP and public IP or elastic IP. Okay, so now both can communicate with each other using the public IP. But from here, if he wants to do the telnet using the private IP of the server, then it will not work because both are different network. So in different VPC, they cannot communicate with each other. So how this can be achieved? So if you see the diagram from here to here using the public IP, the tick mark, it means it will work. But from here to here, it will not work because this app server doesn't have any public IP. So the communication is not going to happen. Okay, so same thing I'm going to show you in the practical. So I have, if you see my VPC screen, so I have two VPCs. Okay, one is VPC A and VPC B. So in VPC A, I have two resources. Okay, if you see here, and the name is for easily making you understand, I am created jump server A and app server A. Okay, and there is a jump server B and app server B. So B means it denote it is in there in the VPC B. Okay, and A denote VPC A. So now jump server, I connected to the jump server. Now if you see, this is the 10.01.18 IP. So this is my jump server A. I'll just maximize it. So this is my jump server A. Okay, so from here, if I can connect to the app server to connect to the app server, because both are part of same VPC, so I can easily do the telnet. If you see telnet and 22 port, I'm able to do that. Okay, because both are same VPC, so they can communicate, and the security group I already allowed the port. Okay, now in VPC B IP, okay, let me take one VPC B IP. Let's say jump server B private IP. Okay, when I do private IP hitting here, let me close the session. Okay, telnet. So it is not going to work because if you see the IP itself, both are different. So the VPC means it's a private, like it's your virtual data center, so both are different entities, so they cannot communicate with each other. So how these things can be achieved? Okay, so there are multiple ways. Okay, one is the basic is VPC peering, and we can create a VPN connection itself, we can create transit gateway, and we can create private link. So multiple ways are there. So today we are going to discuss with VPC peering. So how the VPC can be paired with each other. Okay, so if you see this diagram, VPC pairing, so now the VPC A and VPC B. So anyone can be a requester VPC and anyone can be acceptor VPC. We need to initiate the connections. So someone has to be a requester, someone has to be a acceptor. When the VPC is created, peering is created. So once we do that, the peering will be established. So once the peering is done, then the main is routing. Okay, so without making changes in the routing, they cannot communicate with each other. So what is the routing here? So in the routing, we need to add, let's say, this server. Okay, this, if you see my screen, this jump server A wants to connect to the app server B. Okay, once the peering connection is established, this jump server information should be allowed in the app server, and in the app server informations should be allowed in the jump server. If you see the route table, there is a route table. I added the app server CIDR range, and towards the, it is routed to the peering, and the CIDR range of Bastion server I have added here and is peering. Okay, without making confused, let me go to the practical. Once you do the practical, then you guys will understand. Okay, so now I have two VPCs. Now I have to enable the peering connections. So I need to create a peering connections, and I can give any name. Let's say VPC A to VPC B, something. Okay, now requester, so anyone can be requester. Let me take VPC A as a requester, and the another VPC. So the VPC can be part of same account or different account, or part of same region or different region. So is it the VPC as it is in the same account? So I'm selecting my account and the same region. That's the reason I will select the VPC B. That's it. So VPC A I have selected as a requester and VPC B as a acceptor, and creating the peering connections. So now I have created the peering, but it is pending for acceptance. It means I have created, but that VPC has to accept it. So you need to go to the, as it is in the, both are VPC in the same region. So I just need to go to the action and accept it or reject it. If it is in Northern Virginia, then you need to go to the Northern Virginia region and accept it. If it is a different account, you need to go to the different account and accept it. Now I accept it. So once, if you see, this is the request of VPC A and VPC B, both are in Mumbai region and both account are same. Now accept request. So now my VPC peering connection is active. Peering connection is active. So now this is my same jump server A 10.0.1.18 IP, and this is my jump server, private B server, app server, right? So if I do the telnet, it is not going to work because the peering is established, but the routing level information is not added. Okay, so now the jump server A, I want to connect from jump server A. Okay, so this from jump server route table I need to go. So I need to go to the subnet. So from here, I need to go to the route table. Okay, so in this route table, I need to add a routes. Okay. So what route? So to whom I want to reach. So if you see the diagram, so from here, to whom I want to reach this app server. Okay, what is the CIDR range? I can add the CIDR range whole subnet or the particular EC2 instance. So let us, to make it simplicity, I'm adding the CIDR range of the whole VPC. So what is the VPC CIDR range? 20.20.24, right? So now I need to go to this route table. I will add 20.0.2.0/24, and where it will read our route, the target should be VPC peering. Okay, so now the peering connections, which peering connections? This one. So now one way is done. Okay, one way is done means like from this information is added, this information is added here, but now this server doesn't have any information from this server, right? So now what we need to do, I need to go to the app server B. So from this app server B, I need to go to this networking, go to the subnet and particular route table. So on this route table also I need to add a routes. So this time the routes need to be add of that jump server. Okay. So 10.0.1.0/24, and here the target also peering connections. Okay. Once this is done, okay, now routing is correct. So both side routing is done. So now let me try to do the telnet. Still it is not working. We have the peering connection is active and the route is properly added. Then why it is not working? Then finally the problem is in the firewall, the security group. It means if you see the diagram from here, from this Bastion server, I am trying to do the telnet to this server. Okay, every route is there, but does my server IP or does this CIDR range whitelisted on this server security group or not? Okay, so these things we need to check it. So now I need to go to the app server. In app server security group, so in the security group inbound rules, if I see only added for the 20 series, there is no route. So what I need to do, let me open all traffic for simplicity and I will apply 10.0.1.0/24. Okay, for that series I have added, and that's it. Let us try to make the telnet connections. If I do telnet, still it is not working. Okay, so I need to verify where is the problem. Okay, let me check it. Okay, so I tried to do that, but it was not working because telnet 20.0.1.36. Okay, if you see the IP server here, so 20.0.1.36 is the jump server B, but I am making connections to this app server B. Okay, it was my mistake. So now I need to pick this app server private IP because I did the peering between these two. Okay, the routing change. So now I will do this telnet, or let me zoom it. So telnet, this was my IP 20.0.2.41 and 22 port, and if you see now both they're able to telnet, it means I can able to communicate. Let us do the changes. Okay, do the changes in the sense like we will remove the route. Okay, we'll remove the route. Let us see whether it is working or not. Okay, so what I need to do, any one routing I will change. Let me go to the particular route table, edit routes. Okay, now this routes I'm removing. Okay, 20 routes I'm removing, save changes. Now let us try the same things, whether it is working or not. It should not work. See, now it is not working. It means the peering should be both sided. It means the server A informations needs to be added into the server B, and the server B informations need to be added in server A. Then the peering communications will happen. Okay, this is the basic things. Now what I need to do, like now the VPC A, some VPCs should be requester and some VPCs should be acceptor. And once that acceptor VPC accepted the connections, the peering connections will active. Once the peering connections active, then you need to make the changes in the route table level. Okay, so like here Bastion server wants to connect to this app server. It means the Bastion server informations like the CIDR range need to be whitelisted or added into the route table of the app server V, and the destinations target should be VPC peering. And the same way, this app server CIDR range or the subnet CIDR range need to be added into the route table of the Bastion server A, and it should be pointed to that VPC peering. Okay, once that is added, then we need to check this security group whether this is allowed or not. Okay, once that is done, then we can able to do the connections. Like telnet connections we just tried to test it. You may create the SSS connections. So in this video we discuss about the simple step to VPC peering, and next video we'll discuss about what is unidirectional peering, what is bidirectional peering, and how the peering can be happen between different region and between different account, and the troubleshooting steps. Okay, thank you for watching my videos, and if you have any concern, please add into the comments, then I will regularly check it and I'll give you the update.